But watch the video. This is from the same guys, microtransactions. Anyone who follows me on Twitter knows for a fact that I have a habit of making like massive hot takes, and one of my common hot takes is the matchmaking for the skill-based matchmaking isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think there's a good portion. Like, I know there's bad that can happen with it, but I think there's good with it as well, because that's just how life is. Life's a yin and yang. There's give and take. There's good and there's bad. And I think people who bitch and moan about skill-based matchmaking are bad at video games. If you don't want to play against people who are on your skill level, it means you're bad, because you can't compete against people who are competing with you. Now, the often comment that I get back to me on Twitter is, I just want to play games and have fun. I don't want to have to be in a casual game mode and sweat my balls off because I'm playing against people who are also sweating their balls off. I want to be able to just enjoy the game. You can't enjoy the game when someone is on the same like level as you are. And I get it. But at the same time, I still think if you bitch about sbmm, you're bad at the game.
Of a new Call of Duty, and thus the season of gamers complaining about skill-based matchmaking.
If sbmm wasn't a thing, I would stream multiplayer. sbmm, I've said this before and I'll say it again, man. sbmm is I dare say killing video games as a whole. But it literally, I am playing against Giga Sweats with no rating, and then John comes in. It's like, wow, you're ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing against guys that have like a 1.5 or a 2 or a 3 KD, and John's playing against 0.02.
Now, you know me. You probably expect me to make fun of Timmy the Tatman and say, sounds like a skill issue. Get good, kid. And while I do disagree with the idea that rating systems are ruining gaming,
because they're not.
I think that the constant judgment of skill is negatively affecting the enjoyment of
like, I'll tell you right now,
gaming.
Tim the Tatman, never watched any of his content, so I don't really know much about the dude at all. But that comment that SBM is killing games, gaming is right now making so much money, it's insane. Call of Duty just made more money on launch day than every movie that came out recently. In terms of like this year, made more money than Shazam, not Shazam, Black Adam, made more money than like a lot of the recent Hollywood big budget films. It made like 900 million. I think was like the actual money made for like launch. Yes, definitely a struggling freaking like thing that's dying. Gaming is definitely dying when Call of Duty just made $900 million on launch day.
Experiences. Timmy has a point. Skill-based matchmaking is having a rating system. The idea is to match players of equal skill into the same match together so that everybody has a good time. When we're talking about it in Call of Duty, we're talking about a casual game mode and a invisible rating system, so players don't even see what their rating is. So
again, his standpoint comes from a CSGO player. He's a CSGO player, so he has like a different thought process when it comes to, you know, skill and matchmaking.
Noobs, most people are in the middle, and then it tapers off here toward the pros as the skill gets higher and higher. That means there's less people over here. Now let's take a player right here. This is our player. With skill-based matchmaking, this is the range of players he's gonna come up against inside of this casual game mode. If we remove skill-based matchmaking, pretty much everybody has a chance of ending up against this guy. So a player over here could end up against him. He's not gonna have a good time. In Counter-Strike, we call this smurfing, and it's frowned upon. I think the people who are having a problem with skill-based matchmaking and it's negatively affecting their experience are players who exist in like this range, like right around here.
Basically, so from like that standpoint, what he's saying, it's like people who complain about SBMM are people who are like, you know, this bubble's like, he said over here is like the average player, but this is be more of average up here because that's where most players are at. So this is below average, this is average. So over here would be the above average, but not like pro level. So you're good, but you're not pro good. So people who are good at the game, they want to prove that they're good at the game, they don't want to have to play against these people down here. They want to stay playing against people who are kind of in the same area, but mostly they want people who are in this area, the above average, want to play against these people over here because that's how they get the good gameplay for YouTube.
Take a player right here. This is Timmy the Tatman. So Timmy the Tatman, he's a pretty good player. He's better than the average. He hops into casual and he has to play against players in this range. Now, players in this range, they know how to play the game. They know what the meta weapons are. They know how to set up their loadout. They know where to go. They know what to do. If you don't play a certain way, you are going to get dumpstered on when you're playing against these guys. If you remove skill-based matchmaking, Follow me here. I have a really good point. Our Timmy the Tatman could play against anybody. Now, because there's more players in the middle, if it's completely random, there's a much higher chance that most of his lobbies are gonna be these players. It's gonna be average players. And somebody who's pretty good can then take it easy, go a little bit off brands with the loadouts.
You know, be casual, use whatever guns you want to use, not be forced to play a meta.
I think that's the experience that these players are looking for in a casual game mode. I want you to think
the keyword there is casual. That's why he's emphasizing on casual.
At one point or another. I remember the first time I played Counter-Strike. I was 9 or 10 years old. I was in a cyber cafe, and I got absolutely destroyed. I had a kill-death ratio of 1 to 15. The older kids were beating up on me, and I fell in love with the game. I wouldn't say that was a bad experience, which is interesting because it seems like skill-based matchmaking is trying to prevent specifically that from happening, my beloved childhood memory. When I was going through that, I was thinking, man, I'm gonna get good at this game so that I can beat them, so that I can be the one ruining their day.
He's basically using like the punishment thought process. The punishment thought process is, if I get my ass beat, I'll have the mental fortitude and mental drive to get better, so that way I won't get my ass beat, which sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes people, they get their ass beat and they're just like, all right, I'm done. So the analogy I'll use for that situation will be the Souls franchise. Some people play the Souls games, get their ass beat, and then learn to play the game. They'll learn mechanics. They'll learn whatever's going on to make them do better at the game. They'll keep getting their ass beat for 2 hours against the Tree Sentinel in Elden Ring, or keep getting their ass beat by freaking Artorias or the Abyss Watchers, whatever. To keep getting their ass beat, getting their ass beat. And eventually they'll win, and they're like, all right, I'm better now. That proves that I got better because I beat who was like holding me back. On the flip side, there's players who play the game. They'll open up Elden Ring. They'll push those doors open, walk out into the beautiful fields and see Tree Sentinel, and get hit and go uninstall. People who will play Dark Souls 3, they'll be playing the game. They'll go up to Unda's Gundyr, pull that sword out of his chest, and they'll like, all right, this guy's actually not that bad. He's pretty easy. And then he goes to this little crazy little fit mode where he's weak to fire. But if you're a new player to the game, you don't know that. So you're just getting your ass beat, and you're like, install. Those players exist. People have this thought process that only one kind of player exists. No, there's more than one kind of player. Some people exist who are like, okay, I'm getting beat. I can get better so where I can be able to beat those guys. Getting my ass beat will help me get better. There's also people who are like, no, I'm not wasting my freaking time with this shit. I'm out. You got to take it when you're a developer. You got to take that consideration. You're a company. You have to take into consideration. You want as many people to play your game as possible. So if you want as many people to play your game as possible, you have to have something in your game that allows those people who will quit if they can't have a good game to have a good game. You know what I mean? Like, same because like people who don't want to play Dark Souls games. They don't want to play a game that's beating their ass all the time. They want to be able to just chill and play Skyrim.
The gamer mindset. Times are different. In my story back then, I didn't have infinite immediate access to every piece of media ever created. Kids nowadays do. If they're not getting the immediate gratification that they want from the game, if they're popping in there and every day they're just getting popped in the head over and over and over again and they're not making an impact, they can just go play another game that will give them that immediate gratification.
You know, example I give from that situation. If Apex is too hard for someone who plays Fortnite, what are they going to go do? They're going to stop playing Apex and go play Fortnite. If Tarkov is too hard for an Apex player, most of them will be like, all right, fuck Tarkov, let's play Apex. If you're a company, you don't want that. You don't want somebody to play your game and be like, huh, I just got my ass beat. Bye. You want people to just sit there and keep playing the game.
Games like Fortnite, for example, will seed their lobbies with low-skilled bot players and allow people to farm them. It gives you the impression that you're fragging out. It gives you that feeling. What game developers are trying to do is keep as many people playing the game as possible for as long as possible so they can sell stuff. I think what's really going on here is the judgment of skill is preventing players from enjoying a casual gaming
I like
experience.
his point and his standpoint on this situation because he sees it from the same point of view that I see it from. Like, we don't agree. Like, remember what I said at the beginning of this. I think people who complain about sbmm are bad players, because if you're a good player, you want to beat the best. It's just how my drive is. My drive is I want to beat the best players that are in my way. Not I want to beat people who I know suck. I want to play against the best players that I possibly can play against. And if SBMM is on, when I win, that means I beat someone who's just as good as me, and now I'm better than them. And so on and so on. If I keep winning, I'm beating people. I'm better. I'm better. I'm better. I'm better. So on and so on. That's my drive. Whereas other people are like, I'm okay with that here and there. I'll go play a rank to do that. But the thing about Call of Duty is it doesn't have a rank system yet. So if I was Call of Duty, if I was Activision, if I was Infinity Ward, come out with a rank system and then make regular core game modes. The keyword there is the core game modes: team deathmatch, kill confirm, domination, search and destroy. Those core game modes. Make those just based on connection. Put people in the lobby based on the connection. That way you don't have people who are lagging their balls off because Timmy in fucking California has the same KD as Joseph in fucking Atlanta, Georgia. So like now they got some lag because they're that far apart, but they're the same skill level. That's a point that I do agree with and sympathize with when it comes to people who complain about SBMM, is the thought process that the games aren't factoring in connection more than skill. It's in fact a skill in first and connection last, which means you're gonna get these bad lobbies where people are lagging their ass off.
It's not hidden. It's not hidden in your mind. It is ever present, ever watching. Now, I know this is a little embarrassing, but I've been playing a lot of Overwatch 2 lately. Yes, I know. I like to play Roadhog. It's fun to lurk around the map and get that insta-kill hook on squishies. When I play competitive, I get flamed the whole match by my
His chain pisses me off every time I go to Roadhog.
You have to play Diva.
There's always like so far that I get pulled from. I'm like, yo,
the
fuck
most
off.
fun that I had
That's too
playing
far.
the game was queuing up with my friends in different skill levels and playing the unranked game mode, the casual experience. We can mess around with the different heroes, have some laughs, have a good time. That's the experience the COD gamers are looking for in a casual game mode. It's not just about smurfing on some newbies. It's about the mentality the players have in the match. I don't think the solution is to get rid of a rating system. They're important for balancing the teams within a match.
Agreed.
You don't want a team of pros against a team of noobs, and you can't protect against that if you don't have an objective way to rate the players.
Agreed.
I think the obvious solution is to increase
An example
the
of that
variance
for Call of Duty context will be, for those who are old enough, you remember a time in Call of Duty where if you were a good player, like you were like a really good player in Call of Duty, the way matchmaking used to work was like it will put you in a lobby and your team will be all trash cans, and the way the algorithm, just to use that word, not exactly what they use, but like the way the system would work is, hey, you got a 2 KD, you're pretty fucking good at this game, you can carry these 5 players who suck against this team who all have 1.2, 1.5, 1.3. They're close to your KD, so you should have an easy time because you have 2 KD. Call used to work that way. It wasn't technically skill-based matchmaking, but it was a form of matchmaking to where they kind of assumed you could carry these bad players because look at your stats. And so, and when it comes to SVM, that's the same thing, but on steroids. So it's like, hey, you're a good player, so you're going to play against a stack. So you, as a solo player, are playing against a whole team of 5 or 6 or whatever, and they have coordination and team play, and your teammates are licking poles to eat glue. Have fun.
Skill levels that show up within a casual match, but still protect against the fringe cases where a complete noob is going up against a seasoned pro. I mean, the more obvious solution is to just not play Call of Duty. Well, what are you doing? There's so many good games out there. Which sounds like a lot of them are deciding to take me up on that one. Listen, a good game is like a water park. You have a lap pool for the tryhards, you have a kiddie pool for the newbies, and you have a water slide for the thrill seekers. Games nowadays are turning every pool into a lap pool. Even a game like freaking Call of Duty, which is mostly just a giant kiddie pool, and it's ruining a lot of the fun. To put this in perspective, I am saying this. Mr. Counter-Strike is saying this. Mr. Tryhard Sweaty Virgin sees the point of the Call of Duty anti-SBMM folks. I want to have gaming environments where I can try hard with and against other tryhards, like CSGO Face It. But I also want gaming environments where I can just hang out and have some fun with friends. You need both. Now watch me pop this Bastion who thought he was gonna do something. Yeah. Now that's satisfying.
That's actually like, that's actually why I play multiple shooters. when I want to have a sweaty game, like when I want to sweat, when I want to have a try hard sweaty game, I go play Siege. I'll go play ranked Halo. Keyword there is ranked Halo, not quick play. I'll go seek out the challenge. I want to just chill. Put on Destiny Crucible. I'll put on Call of Duty. I put on I would say Gears of War, because Gears of War ranked is also pretty sweaty. But you get the gist. Like I'll put on a game that I know is casual and I can sit back and just ha, instead of, you know, got the gremlin shoulders, or, you know, got this on keyboard for Siege and things like that, where my eyes are just locked and I'm doing call outs, I'm, you know, strategizing what I'm gonna do. Watch me play. This is when reference Blue. Watching me play Siege is an event, because when I play Siege on stream, which has been in a while, I am locked. Like, I don't acknowledge stream until between rounds or between deaths. So I'm just locked in and I'm doing call outs, or I'm mentally strategizing what I want to do. And like, there was one time when Blue was watching me play Siege. I was playing Scavera, and she was like, every time I watch you play Siege, I learn something new, because I'm try hard. So like, I'm strategizing everything I was doing. There's a plan here. From the second the round starts, I have a plan. And every time something changes throughout that round and throughout that game, my plan shifts, but I still have a plan. I'm still strategizing. I'm trying hard. My brain is going at 125,000%. I'm sweating my balls off. Then when it comes to Halo ranked, then it comes to freaking Gears of War ranked, and then it comes to like when I'm playing Valorant and things like that. But if I want to just chill, I go play a casual game, like Overwatch, like Destiny, like Call of Duty. That's what I do. Now, some people don't do that. Some people only play one game, and so they want their one game to not be that sweaty. Which in that sense, you should just have two systems. You have casual and you have ranked. Ranked, you have SBM, casual, whatever the fuck you want.
If you're just trying to chill and have fun. I have been affected by this so much in my life. I'm speaking about this from experience. I have gotten to the point where I have like shouting matches with my teammates. It's so stupid. A lot of gamers like myself, we never played sports. So we never learned the important lesson of quieting self-judgment. There's another solution, one that's
a big part though.
Have control over.
The quieting self-judgment. And again, that's probably the reason why I don't have that might be because what he said. He said gamers don't play sports. I played sports, so like I do have like a competitive and sportsmanship like thought process. So when it comes to what he means by quieting self-judgment, what basically he's saying is stop telling yourself you suck. A lot of people who play video games tell themselves that they're bad at the game. A lot of people. I've had a lot of conversations with people who I know, you know, go, hey, I'd play that game with you, but I'd be terrible at it. Like they're giving themselves an excuse for why they can't play a game because they're telling themselves that they're bad at it. Like you see people who like, oh, I play Widow in Overwatch, but I'm not a good Widow. Like they're saying all these self-doubt. Like, hey, I can play something with you. I'm a pretty good Ares, but I'm not like a good Ares, if you know what I mean. It's like that self-doubt that they're doing to themselves. First of all, your teammates will do that for you. Your teammates are assholes. They're gonna tell you that you're shit anyways. So you telling yourself you're shit is irrelevant. So people need to get past that thought process of telling themselves that they're bad at games, or telling themselves they're bad at this or bad at that, or they're not good enough. Because I feel like that keeps you from actually getting better. You can't grow if you tell yourself that you're bad. Me personally, I know how good I am at games, and people call it arrogance. But the way I grow is that I see what I fucked up on. So if I'm playing a game and I don't do good, I know why I didn't do good. I know exactly why. And I'll point it out. I'll be like, all right, I made a bad choice there. I probably should have freaking went left when I went right. I probably should have freaking used my secondary and I didn't. I probably shouldn't have reloaded, because I die a lot when I play Halo and Call of Duty. Most of my deaths come when I'm reloading. So I have that thought process of like, all right, kill somebody, reload. So I'll be like, yeah, I shouldn't fucking reload right there. But I'm also self-aware to how a game works. So I know, oh, I died because of lag. Or, oh, I died because, you know, how servers work. My ping, you know, is a 50 and his ping's a freaking 100. So he's seeing me at a later rate than what I'm doing, you know, my screen, your screen, a whole lot of drama. I understand what's going on. So if I have a bad game, I know what I did wrong. I'm not gonna sit and be like, oh, I am bad. I was like, all right, gotta not do that again. That's why I freaking died in this situation. Again, you see this reference. I had a game of Siege where I failed a clutch, and I blame myself. I didn't say my teammates were to blame. I was like, no, I should have had that guy. The issue was I peaked at the wrong game. I peaked the wrong angle. That's on me. I shouldn't have peaked that angle. I knew that for a fact. This was a situation where Blue and Sunyoung were in chat, and they're like, hey, dude, you killed 4 out of 5 people. This is a 5v5 game mode, and you killed 4 out of the 5 and died to the last one. But I'm like, yeah, sure. My teammates didn't do anything in that round, but I could have had that guy. And I know I could have had that guy because my brain, I'm seeing like, yo, if I would have peeked to the right instead of to the left, I would have had him. That's how my brain works. So I don't sit here and like doubt myself. I acknowledge that I could have did that, and then I will the next time around. I'll find ways to improve myself. That's why I watch Pro League. I watch Pro Siege so I can to study how they do stuff, and I put that into my game. So a lot of it, people just gotta get out this mindset of self-doubt and be more into self-improvement. And again, he used the thought process of gamers don't play sports. They don't know how to do that. I play sports, and in sports, what do you do when you win and when you lose? Whether you win or lose, you watch film study. You do film study. You watch your own tape. You watch tape of the next team you're playing against. Let's say you're the Packers. The Packers today and tomorrow and Friday are game planning for the Cowboys. What that means is, in one of those 3 days or 2 of those 3 days, doing film study. They're watching gameplay from the Cowboys. They're watching their defense, watching their offense, watching their quarterback, watching their best players, how that best player plays. They're watching what plays they're calling. They're studying their gameplay. When you win, you study your own gameplay. You study your next opponent gameplay. When you lose, you study your gameplay on what the fuck you did wrong, and then you study your next team's gameplay. You can use that in video games. If you lose, why did I lose? You can study that, think about it, then go from there. If you won, all right, this is what I did right in that situation. Let's keep doing that. Gamers, if they can get to that mindset, if they want to be better, air quotes better, then that's what they could do. Instead of just being like, nah, I'm bad. I know I'm bad. I'm going to always be bad.
Look, internal judgment of action is not very helpful. It just creates anxiety and strife. It reduces your enjoyment of the game, and it makes you play worse. Don't let that voice in your head tell you, man, I should have hit that shot, or man, I'm not doing so great right now, or even, oh man, look at me go, I'm the best. Quiet that voice and just play the game. Your rating does not matter. It's just a tool. It's a tool to match you around the same skill level as other people so that you can have fun and they can have fun. Observe without judging, and you will see the true nature of things. Thank you folks very much for watching. I am TheWarOwl, and
that last bit, something that I feel when it comes to stats. Your stats don't matter. They don't. It's just make-believe illusionary numbers on the screen. Your stats don't matter. They don't mean you know if you're good or bad. Your stats are irrelevant. You know how you play the game, and you know your play style might lead to you having bad stats. Doesn't mean you're bad at the game. I know people in Siege. I keep Siege as an example because it's the easiest one for me to like point to. And people in Siege who, if people saw their stats, they'd be like, that person's bad. But then you see how the person plays, you're like, yo, you're really smart. You know how this game works. You know the in and outs of it. You are a good team player. You know all the call outs. It's like, you're a good player. But your stats don't say good player, though. Your gameplay says good player. Your stats don't. There's a guy who got to Diamond in Siege, which is before Champion came out. This is back before Champion was the thing. Champion is currently the highest rank. Before that, it was Diamond. He was a Diamond player with a 0.9 KD. And people were like, that's just things like, it was like 0.7. He was like, how's this guy 0.7 KD in Diamond? Because, yeah, he dies a lot. But he's probably like a really smart, really good team player, really good support player. Like he probably knows the game so well. So even though he might die a lot, he still wins. Because the wins what matter. In Battlefield back in the day, they didn't show you your KD. In like Bad Company 2, you would see the scoreboard and it would just show your name and then like your like a point score to show like points, what you contributed to that game essentially. So it's like you would have 10,000 points because you what you did in that game contributed to 10,000 points. But it wouldn't show you how many kills you had or how many deaths you had, how many assists you had. That was a great thing because when we play Battlefield, no one gave a fuck about their stats. Everyone cared about one thing, Battlefield. winning. And so was Battlefield 3, so was Battlefield 4, and then it changed. At some point during the end of Battlefield 4's life cycle, people stopped caring about winning and only cared about their stats. Because people who play Call of Duty, where stats were more important than winning, started playing Battlefield because Call of Duty started getting bad, worse and worse and worse. So you had these people who wouldn't play the objective, which is why the term PTFO came out of that, because play the fucking objective as a Battlefield term. So since you can see your stats at all times, you're just sitting there like, oh, I gotta get a better KD because my KD, I look at it right now and it's a 0.4 or 0.5 or 0.9. If I get 2 positive games, I have a 1.0 KD and I'll look like I'm a good player to all my friends. Stats don't matter. Just play the game. You'll have way more fun if you don't care what your stats are. Like, seriously. If you're playing a game and your thought process is, my KD needs to be at least a 3 by the end of this game, you won't have fun, because if it's not a 3, you get like a 1.2, you're mad. You get a 1, you're mad. You go 19 and 12, and you're like, I should have been 19 and 2. This game sucks because it was 19 and 2. You go at 8 and 10, you're like, fuck, I went 8 and 10. Now you're mad. So your stats don't matter. People who focus much on stats usually don't have a lot of fun because they're trying too hard in that game. And again, the stat that matters is wins. I don't care what your stat line is if you don't win games. Like, you see what play Call of Duty, I always be like, if these guys camped their ass off and still lost, what's the point? You still lost. So I get the thought at the end where it's like, you gotta kind of enjoy the game. You can't enjoy the game if you're focused on things that aren't within, like, what's in front of you. Sometimes you gotta have tunnel vision. Sometimes tunnel vision is bad for you, but when you're gaming, it's important to be able to just play the game. Like, stop focusing so much on everything else that's outside the game and just play the fucking game. Documents have been leaked that sbmm is not used to deliver balanced matchmaking, ironically unbalanced ones. They, EA, and probably the others studied psychology and found that cycles of losses followed by wins create an addictive loop that actually keeps players on longer. We can all feel when a match feels rigged against us, and now it's been documented that they are. If that is true, I haven't seen anything about that. If that is a true statement, it wouldn't surprise me. Again, using Dark Souls as the example, people who play Dark Souls, what's the most common thing you hear about Dark Souls? It's hard. You're gonna die a lot. Addictive loop. Where you're just constantly dying, so you stay on it. We just watched, well, not we, but we were watching Miss Mika doing a dance pad challenge fighting Sigrun, which is the last Valkyrie in God of War, and it took her days to beat that. So she's playing longer on this addictive loop of, I have to beat this enemy, and it kept her playing. So when it comes to like this game or any shooter, when it comes to like that comment, you'll feel it. You probably don't think about it, but after you read that, you're gonna think about it. You're gonna play like 3 games of Call of Duty where you do good. In your next 5 games, you'll be getting shit on. Then you get another game where you go 27 and 3. You're like, huh, the fuck? And that win is what makes you keep playing whenever you lose, because you're waiting for that next win. My main problem with sbmm is that it's forced into casual games, even when the game already has a rank mode, which makes you feel like you can never just relax and enjoy the game. So like I said before, that I like sbmm for the most part because I play serious games that aren't casual. But I do think every game that does have sbmm should have a casual game mode, and I understand the sentiment that a casual game mode or casual game shouldn't even have it because, you know, there's ranked. Ranked should be with the tryhards, right? Not casual. So like in Siege, to use R6 as an example, people who play ranked, they try hard in ranked. But when they go play casual with their friends, they dick off. So people who take casual serious, we call them casual warriors, they get all pissed off that people on the other team are running around with only shields or playing as only recruits and things like that. They're just dicking off, using pistols only, melee only, just having fun and casual. You get these casual warriors who are like, I'm afraid to play ranked because I'm not that good at the game, but I also don't want to like be losing to these jackasses who are just dicking off. So I get the comment. So his issue is basically like every game has sweats and there's no reward or rank up for dealing with it. So it's like I'm sweating my ass off in a casual game mode, but there's no reward for why I'm sweating my ass off. If you're playing a ranked game mode, the reward for your sweat is your rank. If you're playing just regular TDM, what's the reward for you playing the sweaty ass game mode? You won? You lost? Not a reward. You want your reward to be that rank up. That's why you play a ranked game. Another issue with SBM is more of a team balancing thing than similarly skilled players being grouped. I don't know why that was hard to read. I'm not illiterate. I don't know if it's just like a lack of punctuation or what, like no comments, things like that. I don't know. But that was a weird read. Generally not fun, as both high ranked players and low ranked players end up trying to average out the teams by pairing someone in top 1% with 5 other newbies versus a team of generally skilled players. Especially what I explained earlier when it comes to like Call of Duty games back in the day, where if you were a good player, you would get 5 teammates who sucked and you play against 5 people who are good because they assume that you can carry those good players. Carry my sweaty player, can my sweaty player carry us? Yeah, that's basically what I was talking about earlier. Where like it's not just Call of Duty, there's other games who do that too, where it's like you feel like everyone on your team sucks, but you're doing really good. It's like, how is my team doing so bad and I'm doing so good? It's like because the game kind of assumes that because you're a good player, you can carry them to a win. When in reality, you can't. You can sometimes, but when you get you up against another team who are good players, you're gonna have a hard time and you won't win games. This is why Battlefield Bad Company 2, 3, and 4 were my jam. Find a server, play with super elites and major news in one server. Now it's like you join an instance and are matched with people exactly at your skill, and it doesn't feel organic. So what that means, so don't play Battlefield. Battlefield doesn't necessarily have SBMM. It just has big ass servers. So in Battlefield server browser, back in the before they took it away. So let's say Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. You go to server browser, you go to your filters, you pick US East, Conquest, Rush, and then you search. There'll be a list of matches that are going on. You hit join one that you want to join in on. You know what server you're playing on, so you know you're gonna have good connection. You go in. 32 players on one team. This plays on another team. You have no idea how good those players are, and chances are 5 will be good on both teams. 5 will be okay. The rest will be between below average and shit. So you see people on both teams who are like 2 and 50. You see people who are like across the board just going like neutral the entire time. So it felt balanced, ironically. Just having this big ass server, everyone just jumps in and you don't notice. Even when it comes like 2042, 2042, you can't. There's no server browser, but you don't know or feel how good any player in the lobby is because everyone's just kind of just doing stuff. You know, the wins all you're trying to get. You know, the final screen to show you in 2042 when you in the game is your squad. With your squad rank, your squad was the best squad in any game, the 3rd best squad in the game, the 10th best squad in the game. Does it show you like anything else? Even when it comes to your KD, they don't show you what your exact KD is. They just show you had 50 kills and assists, meaning you could have had 10 kills and 40 assists. You don't know that because you're just playing the game. But that's what it could mean. Or it could mean you have 40 kills and 10 assists. Who fucking knows? But did you win the game? You did win the game. Was your squad the best in the top 10 squads? Yes, they were. So you're happy. Played with my 2 best friends last year, and they were new to the game. I stumped out the first few easy. The SBM tilted lobbies and so gradually raised our level, and they were unable to compete because it was filled with the game with players on his level, not his friend's level, but his level as compensation. Yeah, lag comp exists, and so the lobby compensation exists. So basically, like if again you use Siege example, this is more or less a incorrect example because Siege has, and so does other like really try hard games, have a bracket of which, you know, if your rank is this rank, you cannot play with people who are at this rank. So if you're a plat in Siege, you can't get into a ranked game with a bronze. So I couldn't be in Siege, load it up, be plat, and then invite my brother and friends who are bronzes. It wouldn't work. That's how they make sure they don't have that happen.